people don't really know the details. I had a grade 3 tear MCL off the bone. And so when I had second, third opinions, there were doctors saying that to get surgery, I was going to be out 4 to 6 months. That'd have been my career. And so when I look back on it, just at that time of decision making that I wanted to do, I wanted to be a part of the team. And if I'd have got surgery, I'd have been away from the team for 6 to 8 weeks after having to heal and not being there as a veteran and a leader and helping, especially during the time we were going through our rocky time. So for me to get some shots in my knee, do some PRP, let it heal, change my diet, lose 20 pounds to get lighter, to get the inflammation out, to build my knee up, strength where now I'm 100%. I have no pain. I don't even need to wear a brace, but I just do it just because for this year. But for me, it's just all the hard work I put in, the different doctors I trained with, and to get this right. Naveen out in DC, Chris McKenzie, different people I did with the Lakers training staff. Also, man, just for me, it's to be able to come back and play this game is huge for me and huge for what I stand for as a vet.
Got it, Jared. Hey, wondered your analysis of kind of what you saw the last 2 games now that the team is whole, and how you would have the team approach a play-in game, which is obviously a unique circumstance here.
I mean, you see the potential. You definitely see the potential what this team could be. And if we would have had 15, 20 games, you would see how scary it would have been. So we definitely have flaws that we have to cover up fast. Defensively, our transition defense is poor at times. Our containment on quick guards, our rotations when we're trying to take the ball out of elite point guards' hands, but then we do it for spurts. Obviously, you see LeBron is out there playing extremely well, and each day and each week goes by, he's going to get stronger. And so that's why it's crucial for us to win this game on Wednesday, to give him a couple more days before our first round. So we're hoping he gets stronger through it. He looked better today as he did yesterday. He looked better yesterday than he did when he came back the first time. So that's an assessment, and I'm ready to go.
Okay, Kyle Goon, please.
Hey, Jared, welcome back.
Thank you.
I know you just mentioned in answer to Mike that you thought, could have been your career if you chose to have surgery. Playing tonight, I mean, did it cross your mind that you may be coming in on the last games of your career, and does it mean something extra to kind of have that on your own terms?
I mean, anytime you get past the year 10, I mean, the average NBA career is 3.5 years. So obviously this being my 14th year. But yes, when I first tore my MCL, I definitely thought it could have been, especially when you hear in 4 to 6 months. I can't come back off rehab and expect the Lakers or any team to be able to sign me. But that being said, coming back the way I did, showing what I need to do to get done. They see what, the staff, Rob Pelinka, Kurt Rambis, everyone, players see what I'm in practice of how I'm moving. And people basically were shocked at how well I'm responding. I had no inflammation, no pain in my knee. So to be able to come back and just to show that just means a lot to me. But yeah, you always know it could be your last game. So it was special that for me to be able to get back, and you never want to end your career off an injury. And I'm glad that for me to be able to come back and step on that floor, I don't care how many minutes it was, 1 minute, 10 minutes, I'm just glad.
Okay, Dave McMenamin, please.
Jared, how do you sum up the challenge facing you being the number 7 seed and trying to win the NBA championship?
It will be the hardest challenge any team has ever had in NBA history. And the reason why I say that is you're going to first play-in game. I know the Warriors aren't the Warriors of old, but you still have Steph Curry, an all-time great. And when I mean all-time great, he can eventually go down with top 10 all-time. I mean, someone who can just change the game. Draymond Green, Hall of Famer. So that's not going to be easy. And if you could somehow get past that, you play a 2 seed. Then you got to play a 3 seed. I do think it was funny. You see a lot of teams, as you would say, managing their these last couple of games of trying to avoid us and stuff like that. It's funny to see that. But for us, it's going to be a challenge of whatever team you play, because between Jokic, the Clippers, Paul, you have obviously Chris Paul. But man, we're up for it, man. We're the defending champs. They got to worry about us. And we're getting healthy at the right time, and no one wants to see a healthy Laker team.
Bill Oram, please.
Hey, Jared, I think you just hinted at this, but I was going to ask you about kind of the landscape of the West and kind of the way things have gone over the last couple of days. The Clippers rested their guys the last 2 games and slipped to 4th, meaning the earliest they could face you as the conference finals. Do you guys look at that as them trying to avoid you? And what kind of message does that how's that received in your guys' locker room? Like, what kind of response do you guys have internally to something like that?
I mean, every person has their own opinion and stuff like that. I personally, I'm obviously a T-Lue guy, and you would have hated to then play their guys going for the 3 seed and either Kawhi or Paul George or one of the main guys have an injury, and just because you're trying to, move up to the 3 where, I mean, let's just be honest, it's not really a big home court advantage, a huge home court advantage right now. I think the only team really is Utah that has like 12,000. So that's really the only team. I think we're at what, 45, 50% capacity. So, I mean, some people are avoiding. I mean, I would say for Denver, I mean, it's smart by Denver. For Denver to win this game, to be able to play Portland instead of us. You don't want to play the champs. Let's just be honest. It's not avoiding. You want to wait and play the best teams later on. Give yourself the best possible chance. Maybe they lose, maybe they don't. So I don't call it avoiding. I call it just good strategy.
Okay, Dan Wikey, please.
Duds, you know how this team is playing. You're seeing it up close and personal. Would you avoid this team right now? Your team?
If I was actually those teams, I want to play us early. I want you to play where LeBron James is coming off an ankle injury, where they're trying to find their chemistry. I mean, you think that we're going to be better later or better now? I mean, the more chemistry and more games, the stronger we get. We're not going to get worse later on. We're going to get that. So if I was a team, I'd want to play us right away. But that's the way I think.
Okay, we'll do last question, Mark Medina.
Hey, Jared. Good to see you, first of all. All things considered, how do you think the guys handled all the different challenges that have come up this season, and how do you see that applying moving forward?
I don't know. I'll give it a C+. I didn't think we were great at it, but let's just be honest. This roster was built around LeBron and AD. And we didn't have them for how many games? What, AD for 37 games, Bron for 37 games. So anytime, I don't care what team you have 2 of your superstar players, you're going to struggle. With COVID and this, I think we're a very deep team. I thought Taylor took a huge stride. I thought Kuz, the way he played this year of taking less bad shots, more under control, working on his defense, I thought was huge. And we implemented Drummond, playing 3 centers. We had a lot going on, but then now it's different. Playoffs, as you guys know, is way different than the regular season. This is where you lock in. This is where people play depending on matchups. This is where LeBron James shows that he's the best in the world. He always does it every year. This is where he puts his imprint, where he separates the regular season MVPs and this to who's number 1 and who's fighting for number 2.